Welcome to another episode, guys. I'm going to go right into it. We're going to talk about we all like to be a millionaires, right? And it's about how soon you want to be a millionaire. We know that some of the millionaires, right? They work so hard, 30 years, 40 years, and then in their late 50s or 60s, they become millionaires. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you're a millionaire and you leave your fortune to your children or grandchildren, that's fine. But we also want us to enjoy that million dollars too, right? And we wouldn't want to wait until our 60s to enjoy that, because who knows what's going to happen after 60, right? Even before that, anything can happen. But usually when you're in the 60s, there's a reason why you call us senior citizens, right? So we're going to talk about how to become a millionaire in your early years, right? In your early career, there are some certain careers that you can start as early as 18 or 20, or right out of college, maybe 21, 22, like early as possible, and then become a millionaire in a very quick succession. The first three, I'm going to lump all the first three things together because they are very, everyone knows about them. Doctors, attorneys, engineers, they have their own specialized areas. Doctors can have different specialities under them, and we all know that they can earn a lot, right? So that's why I'm going to lump everything together. And especially if you're in the US, like, it's so different to our part of the where Venkat and I grew up in South Asia. Like, there are certain things that, once you focus on one profession, it's kind of hard to switch gears to another profession. But here, I've met doctors that they've actually, one of the doctors, she was a teacher. She was a primary school teacher for 10 to 15 years, I think, and then she switched careers and she became a doctor, right? And because of that, these are very exciting professions that you can get into at any point. At any point, doctors, attorneys, engineers, and like I said, one of the advantages that they have is they pay you a lot, even when you're really starting as a doctor. Like, when you're, I know that it's not as big as an experienced doctor makes, but still, compared to the other professions, they earn a lot even in the beginning of their careers. And also, you can switch to these professions, medicine, law, or engineering, at any point of your life. So that's an advantage that you have in your if you're in this side of the world. And they make a lot of money. And if it's better to go into these professions as early as possible. And even if it takes some time to switch to these professions, that's also fine, because these are some professions that you and I all know will make you millionaire as early as possible. And those three are the easiest, very common sense that everyone knows. So I put them together and give you a brief introduction. You're still not late. It's never too late to get into these professions. I know it's hard. We all know it's hard. It's not easy to become these guys, but it's still possible. It's doable. Venkat, do you want to take on the rest?
Right, yeah, definitely. So these are the professions, that the career that most people don't know it. Like, if you ask somebody, they may know it, like, as a programmer, or maybe they're making a lot of money. But some of the programmer, like Google and Facebook and Amazon, Apple, they actually, their salary would be around like 600, 700,000. Plus they would get a stock option, other things. I'm talking about like in the early career, maybe in 10 years, right? Most people, like right after 5 years, they would start making around that. Before that, maybe like 200,000 to start with, and then kind of goes up every year. If they're doing really good, like we are talking about somebody who shines, right? Who shines in the team, who actually productive, very productive in the job,
Right.
in the career. That is, we are not talking about somebody. There are programmers who makes less than 100,000, but there are a lot of programmers who makes uh, double six figure, 200, 300,000. It's very common.
And
um,
also, one of the contributing factor, like you said, is the right company. Is that right?
right company, and also the startup company sometimes pays a
Right.
lot of money. And that's another thing. And if like it's not hard to get in. Like, you don't need to know all the programming. Like, let's say Python, like one of the easy to learn programming language is Python. If you can probably learn that in a month, even without knowing anything. The kids are doing Python programming, right? There are a lot of kids they're doing in their high school or middle school. They do programming in Python. So it's like you take one of those programming language, and just learn that in a month or 2 months, and then you would get a job without even a degree. That's a beauty of this programmer, right? You don't need, they don't look for a job. Like you can become a junior programmer on that, just using like 2-3 months, and become expert, like not really expert, like things ins and out a little bit, how to do few things, basic stuff, and then you can become a junior programmer. And once you learn the strategies within that job, how to become a real programmer, like a senior level programmer, then you should know the path to go there from your junior to senior level. That shouldn't be taking longer. But the thing that most people thinking that is, it's very hard to get in and stuff like that, but try it out. This is a very lucrative job, and it actually pays. Within 5 to 10 years you should be able to settle down. Sorry. So the next one is I know a lot of there are 100 million or so just Amazon subscriber in US alone, right? More than 100 million out of 300 million, 320 million population. So almost half of the US population have Amazon subscription. And they buy lots of stuff. And there are Amazon sellers who sells like thousands of items every hour, right? They don't need to even ship it. It's all warehouse. It's like a wholesale kind of thing. So you ship like thousands of products to Amazon warehouse. You don't need to even see the product. It directly goes from the company who's manufacturer, and then directly goes to the Amazon warehouse. Amazon takes care of everything. And you can hire a couple of people, and you have to start, you have to know the couple of products. You just need one or two products to make $1 million a year. That is what makes Amazon selling Amazon. It's like a very scalable, highly scalable, right? You can sell like 1 million products in a year, just one product, right? 1 million products that just your company can sell. Even if you make a $1 profit from each one, you would make $1 million just from that one product. It is completely possible. And the next one is the real estate agent, a real estate investor, right? If you have that combination, I know a lot of people, like mainly in the West Coast, they sell like several $1 million houses, right? 2-3 million. That's like a minimum. And you make around 2.5 to 3% of the commission, and maybe more sometimes.
And not just in West Coast. We could even some parts of East Coast too, like Washington, right. Northern Virginia area. I know several investors, several real estate agents. I mean, they sometimes only need 1 or 2 sales to make the year. So it's very true.
Yeah.
Location when it comes to real estate. So
right, yeah. If you perfect this this art, it's like a real estate agent is kind of like a art, right? It's more of art than science. If you perfect that, become an agent and know the ins and outs, how do you get the deals? How do you get the deals? Once you know that, you can actually get several deals, like word of mouth. Once you get like 100 deals, and then getting more is quicker. Just like making 100,000 is harder than making 200,000 from the 100,000, right? So that is what the real estate agent, once you get that 100 deal, probably getting more deals, like you may not be able to even work on those deals. You may have to deny it.
Right. And then one of the things that I want to squeeze in, Venkat, when I started as you and I started as real estate agents, not investors, like as you can remember, I partnered up, or I kind of shadowed with an experienced agent just to show houses. So that's how you can get into the business. Like, you get your license and you shadow with the experienced agent. You learn everything that, he could share with you. And sometimes he might even give you a cut, and when you go,
not necessarily, you don't need to know, get the money. Don't focus on the money first here.
Yes, that's a bonus. If you get a cut, it's a bonus.
Right. Yeah.
And when you go for your very first deal on your own, you can tell them that I have experience. Like, because you can't lie. I mean, morally, it's not right to lie that I have this much of experience if you don't have. But this way, you have experience dealing with clients. So you can actually tell clients when you go on your own that I have this experience. So you know what to talk, what to show, what not to say, what not to show, and all that, tricks and tips, from you, because you learn from the experience. So shadowing with an experienced agent in the right area. Company may not be a real factor through my experience, but the right area would be definitely a matter.
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. And if you make money out of this real estate agents, right? Take that money and put it in investment. You would be actually taking, commission from there. So you would save a lot of money
Yeah.
buying houses or selling houses as an investor, and at the same time as a real estate agent, you're doing your own deal. You will be saving tons of money. That's why, like, this combination works out really well. And
Right.
also, you need to start putting money on the house. Any money, extra money you get, just start investing like heavily. That's going to create $1 million in a few years, probably.
Correct.
Right. So the next one is the web designers. I know there's tons of websites. Everybody wants to have their own website, and if you really know, you have to learn it, right? It's again just like a programming, little bit of programming involved, but there are a lot of templates and stuff like that, and WordPress and other things are there, and there's a Squarespace and Wix and all those additional ones that you can kind of drag and drop kind of thing. You can still use those as an initial thing to learn it, and if you know well, and you can actually charge $500 for just maybe a couple of hours of work. That's going to create a website. That way, like, if you scale it up, it's really scalable. It's just like a business. You just have to focus on that, and then you can actually, there's a lot of potential. People make tons of money through web designing. The next one, I think this is also most of them know, like a Wall Street analyst, right? Probably analysts, like when they talk about Wall Street analysts, they make tons of money, probably $1 million a year. Their salary could be only like 100,000, but their bonus is like 900,000, 800,000.
Yeah.
So that's what the investment bankers, Wall Street analysts, they make tons of money. You just need to know, and like analytics mindset, and then those background, accounting, heavy accounting background, and just graduated from a good college and stuff like that. That's going to lead you to that career, and that's going to pay you tons of money. And
I'm going to add something real quick, Venkat.
Yeah.
I watched a movie on Netflix, and it's about this whole financial crisis in 2008. And that movie was based loosely on the Lehman Brothers, with the collapse of Lehman Brothers, right?
Yeah.
And at what point this freshman, not freshman, I think he's a very junior analyst, and his senior analyst, there are two junior analysts talking about their salaries and their, these are investment bankers, okay? So junior analysts in the Lehman Brothers, well, let's say ABC company, right? Talking about salaries, and this is based on a true story, so that's why I'm just quoting this. So they were talking, oh yeah, I made only $250,000 a year. So this is a junior analyst, okay?
Right.
Junior analyst making $250,000 a year, and then they were talking about their supervisor, who's a manager. Guess what? $2.5 million.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's a movie, all right? It's a movie. So, but still, it's based loosely on the collapse of one of the big companies during the financial crisis. So, I just wanted to, so that endorses what you said about, there's a potential to earn a lot of money. So I'll stop from that point.
Right. Yeah. So again, like all these things are, you don't need to put any money. Like there are other opportunities like stock investor. Like you can be a stock investor, but you need to have, like, if you put $500,000, you can make $1 million, double it up. But none of these actually needs tons of money to start with, and you will be making million in a few years, right? That is what these are. And next one, we cannot leave this out. YouTubers. Most of us know, at least now, like during the COVID time, right? everybody start putting these videos of how much money I'm making from my YouTube channel and stuff like that. And they all started like 2 years ago. Some of them started, most of them started 2 years, 3 years ago, right? They started making 500,000, like Graham, right? He's making I think close to 500,000. And Meet Kevin, he's making $1 million a month. He's talking about, he started 3 years ago, 2017, but he's doing other things. He's doing courses, real estate, so many other things he's doing, and he's working hard. But basically within like 2-3 years, if you really do it right, in YouTube, you would be making millions, sometime even in a month, right? We are talking about not in a year. In a year, if you want to make $1 million, you have to make $90,000 almost in a month. But they're making in a month.
Sorry, what's that?
Some of them making in a month.
Yeah, and that's a fact. Like, that's proven. These are not just, you're not just saying it, right? So these are proven facts.
Yeah.
Like you even mentioned some of the names. So these are like facts. This is true. Like, these are not like made up stories in a fairy tale.
Right. Yeah. And even the kid, that YouTuber kid, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
He made,
Ryan.
5-10 million. I don't know.
Yeah, he's even got a Wikipedia profile. He's 8. I think he started his channel when he was 5. Actually, his mom started his channel.
And his photos are in all the toys. If you notice,
I'm pretty sure. And one of the things that they do is, how do you call it, the affiliated marketing, right? Because he became a kind of big shot on YouTube at the age of 5. These toy companies want him to kind of talk about their toys through Ryan. So that's affiliated marketing, and he earns money from that too. Like,
like a branded partners, or branded, like he's the partners for the brand.
And you can Google him. It's at the Ryan YouTube or something, like, you can Google him, and he's
the Ryan YouTuber. Yeah, if you get that.
Yeah.
So one last one that we just want to touch base is the business owners. Like, if you work on anything other than these 3 kind of career jobs, like, maybe these, like a regular 9-to-5 jobs, right? You are not going to make $1 million in a few years, unless you become a CEO. But we are talking about early in a career, right? To become a CEO for big companies, probably most of them are in their 50s, right? 40, late 40s. So we're talking about in your late 20s or maybe late 30s maximum. That's what. But business, if you start a business and grow the business, you can start your business anytime, even when you're a small, right, a teenager. As long as you have a good guidance and you know what to do, and that's growing. And it doesn't take longer, maybe 5-10 years, your business will be producing more than $1 million a year net profit, right? So there are tons of businesses. We actually talk about that in a different episode. But these are some of the things that you can look at it. And if you are really old, like in your 50s or 60s, you can teach your kids or grandkids, if they don't know which career to choose, if they want to make money, but they don't know which career to choose, you can advise them. You can just pass this information, our channel, to them. That way, they know exactly where to start. They get some idea.
Correct. And one last thing I want to add is, like, even 1 through 4 that you mentioned, the regular 9-to-5 jobs, which pays really well as a starting career. If you don't live beyond your means, you can actually be a millionaire in a couple of years with being a doctor, attorneys, and without buying $1 million houses. If you live humbly, in a humble life in the first couple of years, you can actually be a millionaire in a couple of years, even doing that that regular job. And after that, you can build your fortune. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. I wanted to add.
Yeah, that's a great point to end this video. So thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Bye now.